Okay.
All right. Good afternoon, everyone.
And for me, it's good evening. It's 8:21 my time in Spain.
Yes, yeah. I was going to say, tell us just really briefly, where are you at today?
Well, today we're just like in this like really weird kind of ghost town style place. It's like this resort place that's been totally vacated because it's like the off season, and we chose it because it was just really affordable and just outside of Valencia, and so we're trying to be cheap. But it is like full on ghost town. But we did go to Valencia today, which was an incredible city. It's just so beautiful. So
Amazing.
So that was nice. Got to see some people today, which is nice.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for making the time to be with us today and connect with us.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Good to see you.
Yes. Okay, so let's dive right in. We have about 15 minutes to get through this. And what I was wondering about is schedule. Let's talk about the schedule of our 21-day reset and how to best fit in everything that needs to be fit in each day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like you and me have talked about this kind of at length. We really wanted this, like it's called Simply Awaken, and we really did want this to be as simple as possible, but also like really transformative and also a challenge. It's not just something that like you kind of do and you almost forget that you're doing it. It's something that is like constantly in your awareness that you are doing a challenge for transformation. And so it is kind of check-in points throughout the whole day that you kind of got to tick off some boxes. But at the same time, we don't want people to feel like overwhelmed. And so if they are feeling overwhelmed, just like cut down on some of the things. So instead of doing hour-long yoga classes, you have the option to do 15. You can do 15 every day. You can make the journal part like 2 minutes. Like it doesn't have to be super strenuous, and everything doesn't have to be so long. Just kind of do what you need to do in order to get it all done. So that's kind of, I don't know, we've talked about that quite a bit, but do you want to, or maybe I'll just kind of go through the actual schedule, and then you can talk a little bit about like the morning drinks and stuff like that. I'll just kind of go over the morning movement. You want to do some of the morning drinks, just explaining how you're like intermittent fasting and when you break that intermittent fasting with the drinks, and just kind of, we'll go kind of at that. Yeah.
Sure. Yep. Sounds good.
So we just kind of wanted to lay it out. Like you can even write this down. I could even do a little thing that I'll attach with this audio file too, is just that schedule. So every single morning when you wake up, and you're likely going to have to set an alarm a little bit earlier to get this done. And that's also something that we're going to talk about later on, is kind of making time, is the morning movement. So before you've done anything, before you've had your water, before you've done your hair, before you've gotten dressed, just get up out of bed and start that morning practice. It is like basically 15 minutes. And it's just a really nice way to kind of wake yourself up with movement, with breath, with meditation, with a little bit of that cleansing. And it's the kriyas, the things where you're kind of flapping your belly and holding your breath and that kind of stuff to squeeze the digestive system, if that's like totally over your head and like not making sense to you, skip it. It's okay. Don't worry. Or like try one set and then fast forward to the thing that comes next. Don't start your day like ticked off that you just can't get it, because it's something that it takes time to understand and to actually physically to feel. So then after the morning movement, then Sheena, why don't you kind of go into that?
Yeah, so after the morning movement, that's when we want to rehydrate, right? So every night we are breathing, we are sweating, we are just dehydrating our body. So we need to get those glasses of water in. But I do recognize that it can be a lot for some people. So again, don't do all of the water. 2 glasses is kind of where we'd like to get. But if that means a half a glass is what works in your system, do that, because it's always going to be better than nothing, for sure. So whatever water your body feels good with, take that in. And then we do the morning brew. So hopefully at this stage of the program, you know what your favorite one is. You're drinking it, you're enjoying it. I've had some feedback about the brain octane and still not being able to get to that tablespoon feeling well. So again, don't worry about that. You'll get there when you're ready to get there. So if you're feeling good at 1 teaspoon, then keep doing that, and slowly know that the goal is to get up to 1 tablespoon, but do that at your own pace. Don't rush there where, you know, then you're feeling nauseous and not great. That's not what we want. We want you feeling good each and every step of the way. So you can go slow on the brain octane for sure. And then what you're going to do is when you start to feel hungry, when your digestive juices start flowing, that's the green juice. So that is the one that is going to break the fast. That has a little bit of carbohydrates in there. And so that is whenever that works for you. Whenever you're feeling hungry, that's when you want that green juice. And again, hopefully you have now established your favorite recipe, and you can keep doing that same one every single day. That's great. My personal favorite is just lemon water with the greens in there. And so that's how I do it. But if you prefer the cashew milk or the one with that has a few more steps in it, do that. But if you're finding that you're crunched for time, go simple, right? Always go back to quick and simple for sure. So that's the juices. And then your next step is going to be, you know, again, by the time that you are feeling hungry, after you've had the green juice, your lunch. And that is, you know, we've kind of gone through all that, so I'm not going to talk about so much the meal part, but that's just sort of the morning routine. So what we really want to kind of stress here is do what works for you, but know that you do have to put some planning in to make sure these steps, however you modify them to fit in your schedule. So, you know, Marni touched on it earlier about maybe you need to go to bed earlier in order to wake up earlier to get this, these new habits, you know, kind of checked off before you start your day. So yeah, sorry. And the one thing that I was going to say about that was, we talked about it yesterday, was about the setting the alarm piece, right? So when you are, you know, when you're planning for your next day, set the alarm that's going to set those reminders for you. So if that means you have to wake up a half an hour earlier, set an alarm to wake up a half an hour earlier. If you need to remind yourself, you know, to do whichever step that's maybe the one that you're missing or the one that you haven't been getting to, set a reminder on your phone for that step. Our smartphones are incredible technology if we use them kind of appropriately. So do set alarms, get those reminders in, and it will get easier to get through each step.
Yeah, and you can even like set an alarm for the yoga class or the meditation or the journaling component as well. Whenever you know in your day that you have an extra time, like our phones, I just saw it today, my phone has this app that's been tracking my like social media time, or like even just my phone, how I use my phone. And one of them is like my social media thing. And I was like, that is so cool that they're tracking that, because I think I spent, it was like 20 minutes or something today on social media. And I was like, 20 minutes, that's a yoga class, right? So if I just cut out that, I could have done a yoga class or whatever. Like, it's just making the time. We all have time in our day to get this stuff done. It's about prioritizing it. It's about making it that top priority. And it's 21 days, right? And that's what these 21 days are trying to build on, that habit. So if we can do it for 21 days, then we're recognizing that, hey, we can do this. We can create time in our day all the time, and it doesn't have to stop after 21 days. This is a lifetime. We're building that habit for a lifetime of health and wealth and happiness. And
Yes.
so yeah, like do the work, set those alarms. I always find it funny when me and Sheena get together. Sheena has like 100 alarms set, and it's like meditate, or like take a moment, or call someone today. That, you know, like, so I was like, oh, this is so nice. And, you know, and sometimes it's like you have to hit snooze because, or like skip because you're in a meeting or you're doing something else, you're driving, and that's fine. But like the intention is there, and hopefully if you press snooze or whatever, then you can get to it again and you'll be reminded once again.
Yes. Yeah.
And like I said earlier, the yoga class library, like if you're just feeling overwhelmed, you can't get anything done, do the 15-minute one every single time. Or if you can't get anything done, go legs up the wall, you know, like
Yes.
make a timer 5 minutes before bed, put your legs up the wall, like let that be your yoga then, right? Close your eyes, breathe, let that be your meditation. Getting both done at once. That's 5 minutes of your day. We all have that. We can totally fit that in.
Yeah, one of my favorite things that you say often is about how yoga is just movement, right? So even if you make a conscious effort of going through and moving your body, moving each joint, that could be your practice as well.
Totally. Absolutely. Yeah. That's key. And I think if we kind of are, you know, a little bit more compassionate to ourselves, like we're already making so many changes in 21 days. And if the movement part is like, it's overwhelming you, then that's exactly it. Then just get into every joint. Just do some hip circles, my favorite. Do some neck rolls, whatever it is, and make that an intentional yoga class, even if it's 2 minutes.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. We just like
I know, we got through it.
We just killed it on we don't, like, in the program, I noticed we don't talk a ton about snacks. And I did wanted to just make a little note here that there is that whole snack cookbook, and don't be shy to use it. So if like you're hungry in the morning after that green juice and it's not even lunchtime yet, like if it's like, you know, a little bit earlier and you're like, oh man, I want to kind of hold myself off, go have a snack. You know, same thing with the dinner thing, is have a snack. And even if you have to eat after dinner, that's totally fine, but just make note of when you have your last snack, whenever your last meal or whatever it is, because of that intermittent fasting stage of 14 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't want to starve in this program. That is not the program.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah. The program is feeling your best every day, right? So knowing that we're increasing our fat, that's going to help increase our energy levels. With more energy, these routines become easier. And that it does come, right? So again, and Marni touched on it, and I love it, that self-compassion piece, self-love. This is not a program that, we want people to feel defeated. It is the program that sets you up for future success in every single, every single aspect of your life. So take it slow, be gentle, be kind, love yourself, and just know that we're here for you. If you have any questions, reach out to us. We are going to do more of these like webinars and recordings. So if you do have any questions, we will address them in this sort of format. So we want to see everybody do amazing, and we are absolutely here for you. So please reach out.
Yay! Yeah, and remember that this program is only going to get easier and easier every time you do it.
Yes.
So this first time that you're doing it might be like, what the heck? Like, oh my gosh. If that's you, like, don't worry, because you have this for life. And so you can, you know, the next time you do it, you're a pro. You get what needs to be done, and you'll get it done a lot easier.
Exactly. Yeah, it'll be familiar, right? And then every time you do it, it gets easier and easier. And absolutely, right? It's not a one-time program. Redo it. And if you're feeling like you want to, you can even redo it right afterwards, right? I know with Christmas coming up, maybe that's a little bit unrealistic, and that's fine. But even, you know, for January, right? You've done it once, you kind of, maybe felt like you stumbled through the first one. but then you get through that second 3-week period and everything gets a bit easier. So yeah.
Totally. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yay! Well, that
All
was
right.
fun.
Yeah, well, it's so good to see your face. It's been so long. Well, for some. For me, it was yesterday, but.
Yeah. Okay, well, let's sign off on the recording, and then we'll say our goodbyes.
Yeah, sounds
Bye,
good.
guys.
Okay, bye, everyone. Mwah.